All right. Oh,
That.
muted. There we go.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm here with Aaron McCaleb. He's the fishing camp dean. You've deaned, let's see, 18, 19, 6 out of 7 years. I'm trying to, something like
Uh,
that, this
so
camp.
we didn't have it in 2020 because of COVID,
And I
and
think
then
2021 was,
Thompson's did it in
I
2021.
remember that.
So I've done it 5 out of the 6 years then. So I think this will be year number 6 then.
Yeah. I had to count for a second because I was like, but I brought my fishing pole just to show since it is fishing camp. So
Yeah, I got my fishing picture artwork and stuff behind me on the wall. So
there's that. I thought, man, it's fishing camp, so let's replicate something.
oh yeah.
So fishing camp is for boys only, junior high boys. It is at Samdale Lake. Am I saying anything that's out of place?
Yeah, 7th and 8th grade boys, junior high boys. Samdale Lake's where we do it at now. Actually, we've been there all but 2 years that we've done it. It's a
And
great
then you guys,
spot for it.
yeah, and then you guys do it May 29th to the 31st.
Yep.
So Aaron, you're the head man in charge. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your oil belt experience.
So my name's Aaron McCaleb. I'm the youth minister at Little Prairie Christian Church in Albion. We have been here 14 years now. Been here quite a while. I've been helping out with the oil belt since we got here. Always grew up in camp, going to camp. And I have to say, oil belt's my favorite. Not just because, that's the one I work with now, but it really is my favorite. Love everything about the camp. Love being a part of everything that it does. Yeah, fishing camp was something that we started back in 2018, or well, about 2017. Someone had approached Tyler about putting it together, and Tyler got them in contact with me, and so we put together the first one. We were actually the first year we did it. We were at private property in Greenup. Someone had a private, I mean, big pond, little lake, whatever you want to call it, that we camped out on. And then after that, we moved to Samdale just for convenience. The camping's just a lot more convenient over at Samdale, and the fishing's great there. We always have great fishing there. But Tyler talked to me about it first. I'm obsessed with fish and fishing and all things. I mean, basically anything fish related. I like to go fishing. I like to keep fish in aquariums. I don't have any set up right now. I used to have a big one in my office until it sprung a leak, and I would have done this in front of that fish tank if it were still set up, but it's not set up anymore. But I like to catch fish. I like to keep fish. I like everything. I'm obsessed with everything about fish, big or small. So Tyler talked to me about it, and we got some guys together, and we've been doing it since, and it's been I love it. I look forward to it every year. It's a great weekend. Last year was the first time we made it 3 days instead of just one overnight thing. It used to be Friday and Saturday. Now it's Thursday through Saturday. And so, yeah, we're expanding the numbers out just a little bit this year. Maybe sometime in the future we can make it a bigger thing than it is, but we always fill up usually in the first day of registrations. I know currently it's full up right now, and there's probably a couple names on the waiting list. Yeah, I got a great group of guys together. I'm excited for it. Looking forward to it. Like I said, I always look forward to this. It's a great way for me to start the summer because it's right there at the beginning. It's always the weekend after Memorial Day. So
I'll be at Pathfinder that week as faculty, and then I will be at Niners. So
oh yeah,
I might run into you maybe.
yeah. Oh, you're not helping out with senior high, are you?
I am not helping out with senior high this year.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not either. But my daughter's going to it, so that's the day after. I mean, I'd help out with senior high week, except that it's the day after fishing camp gets over, and I don't have that kind of young guy energy anymore.
Yeah. Yes. I did last year. I did Niners and then went straight to Footprints as faculty, and I will never do that again.
It's exhausting.
Yes. I need like a week or two, like a break, maybe 3.
I think I need at least a couple of days, 12, 18-hour turnaround time, whatever it is, between when fishing camp gets over and senior high starts is not enough for me, especially after sleeping in a tent. If I could transport my bed out there, it would be perfect. That's the only thing I could think of that would make fishing camp a better experience is if I could transport my bed and my air conditioner out there. But
yes, because it does get. It's May, so it gets warm, but I don't know. It
it
gets like
actually
hot.
it
It
doesn't
depends
get
on the year.
too bad. In fact, the reason why we moved it to the end of May was because of the weather's almost always nicer. We have a little bit, we have to deal with storms a little bit more. We have to worry about that a little bit, but um, so far it's never ruined a weekend for us or ruined a camp for us. But
Awesome.
the first time we did it like the end of June, beginning of July, and about died. It was so hot. But yeah, the end of May, the fishing is great. Right there, you can't ask for better fishing time, better fishing weather. The fish are biting, so it's a great time, great time of year to go
Yeah,
to it.
I've never done fishing camp, so this is kind of exciting to kind of talk about fishing camp.
You
And
could come out. You should come out like for a day and come hang out with us for a day
I know
if you're able to.
if I wasn't helping at Pathfinders, I probably
Yeah,
could have pulled it off. And Ryan Scott and Jesse Brinkley, that's who I'm helping out. So if you know, they
yeah.
need to.
I went to school with Jesse.
Oh, you did? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we went to St. Louis together. Good dude. And then
Yeah.
Ryan lives right down the road from us, so yeah, good
Yeah,
people.
that's even better.
That'll be a good camp.
There's about 70 students signed up right now, so
That's good.
yeah. So who are some people that are going to be on your faculty? Obviously, it's not like a deeper life or athletes week. I know it's a smaller type camp. So who are some people that you're going to have help?
Okay, so we've got a handful of guys. Um, uh, we've got Mike Gomez, he's actually my cousin, but he's a youth minister from St. Louis, and he comes out every year and helps with it. And then we've got Robbie Kinney and John Horton. Um, if I
Horton.
hadn't, yeah, John Horton and Robbie. I couldn't. Robbie's from Altamont area. For some reason I can't think of where John's from, but they've been helping out.
Brown.
Yeah, what you said.
Monday.
So they've been helping out, pretty much, every year. And then this year we're excited. Matt Willis is on board with us, helping us out this year. We're excited to have him. He's definitely a much better fisherman than I am. Yeah, I'm obsessed with fishing, but I'm very rarely am I ever the best person, the best fisherman out there, unless I'm taking students fishing. But Matt is definitely a better fisherman than I am, and so the kids are going to be excited to have him. He's bringing a couple boats with him too, and he's just an all around good dude. I'm excited to be working with him.
That's awesome. Like, I don't know how. I guess we can talk about Sam Dale because since it's not a. What do you guys like? What do you? Is Sam Dale a pretty good size lake? I live in Mount Vernon, and our closest lake is Run Lake, and I always have good bass and crappie and bluegill.
Yeah, it's nowhere near the size of Wren Lake. It's a good sized lake. It's one of those ones that you can't see all of it from any one spot. So it's big enough that it's a big enough lake that you can't see it all from one. You can't be out in the middle of the lake and see every inch of it. It's pretty good size. It's got some cool little areas that fork off from it and stuff. And the tent camping site it's great. It's like a little peninsula that juts out, and there's a lot of great bank fishing from there. And then we put the boats in, and we tie them up, and we take kids back and forth out on the lake during the day, and don't always catch a lot, but we always catch. I shouldn't say we don't always catch a lot of monsters. We always catch a lot of fish. We usually catch one or two really good, really, really nice fish, but we always catch a ton of fish. So
I remember when I did camp out years when I was a younger kid, and one year we did something called jug fishing.
Yeah,
because it was so hot.
We haven't tried that, but we do some night fishing for catfish. We've never done jug fishing per se, but we do some night fishing for them. And kids have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I'll have to talk. I had Darren Barbie on here not too long ago, and they're going to Carlisle
Yeah.
Lake this year, and that's pretty cool. And getting that perspective, and so what makes fishing camp like a camp that a kid can't miss? Obviously, you're gonna fish and probably swim, but like, and I'm pretty sure I'm not assuming anything. Probably have some worship in there.
Yeah. Like even if, I mean, obviously you probably don't want to sign up for fishing camp if you don't like fishing, but even if you've never fished, you would still enjoy it. But if you look at like a lot of the things that Jesus did, the a lot of the stories of Jesus in the New Testament and the Gospels take place around the lake, and so it's just a cool setting to hear and work to hear the messages about Christ. Hear the speakers or the devotions, to get into God's Word. There's something just peaceful and almost awe-inspiring about being out on the water. Um, like I can't help but think about how cool God's creation is when I'm out fishing or when I'm out just in the woods or something like that. And so when you're out there, it just adds a depth to the worship time. It adds a depth to your personal devotion time, to the messages. It just kind of brings it home on a different level than sitting in a pew or sitting in a classroom does. And even being at camp does that too. Being at the camp, doing the devotions in the trees and the gazebos and stuff like that. That you get that experience too. But I think being out on the water just adds a whole new element to it and adds a whole new depth to it. Plus, when you're doing something like that, you develop relationships with the students there. Like the students, develop friendships and stuff like that, with shared experiences and memories and stuff that they'll be talking about all through high school camps. When they go to that, be like, oh yeah, you remember this and this from fishing camp, and so I mean, I still get kids, in high school weeks and deeper life or whatever, come up and ask me, hey, you remember me from fishing camp, and remember when this and this happened, and yeah, I mean, I think it was 2019 is the first year that we did it. I had Jesse Brinkley actually was out there with me that year. We had like a big storm popped up in the middle of the night at like 11:30, and Jesse's like he got a notification on his phone like there's a big thunderstorm coming, and it practically like developed right over the top of us, and so we had to throw all the kids in the church van, and we're like hanging out in the church van for like 6 hours because the storm just stayed right over top of us, and we wanted to keep them safe, so in fact there was another family that was camping out there. Their tent got collapsed by the amount of rain that came down. But it was a funny story. Like sitting in a church van all night long. Everybody stinks. They smell like campfire and bo. Trying to sleep. We got the van on with the air conditioning on. But then a funny story about that. Our van that we were using had a mouse die inside of it like the week before or however long before, and they could never find it. And so like you could smell it through the AC, so that added to the smell. It was pretty rank in there, but it makes for a funny story afterwards. It makes for a
Yeah.
funny memory. Like that's a story that every kid is going to tell. Every kid that was there, every time I see them, they come up and they're like, "Hey, you remember when we had to spend all night in that smelly van?" And um, it's just there's always something like that happens.
It's like that. I don't know if you remember Saturday Night Live when it was actually Saturday Night Live with Chris Farley, that van down by the river. That's what comes up.
I have a feeling that I remember that even better than you do. That was a little bit more formative, a more special memory for me than you. But yeah, I've quoted that a few times. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, because I was like, I know it sounds silly, but
Living in a van down by the river. Yeah, that's a great sketch.
yes. Let's see here. So what should students like expect at fishing camp? Obviously, you're gonna fish and do all the.
So we'll get there. We'll get there on Thursday or Thursday morning, kind of late morning. We'll set up the campsite. We'll go over some things, and then we'll get the kids out on boats as soon as we can. I bring my Blackstone down, and we eat really good at fishing camp. Like we brag about that. We actually don't really eat the fish. We usually throw them back. Partially because you can't always guarantee that you'll get enough good sized fish to feed everybody, and partially because it's a lot of work to fillet a bunch of fish and fry them up and stuff, and it's almost easier and tastes better to have hamburgers or something like that on the griddle, smash burgers or fajitas or something. But we'll eat, around together around the fire. We'll do in the afternoons when it gets hot. Sometimes we'll go and we'll go exploring around the lake, or we'll still take them out on boats and stuff too. In the evenings after dinner, we do campfire. We do worship around the campfire. We do a message in the evenings. In the mornings when they get up after breakfast, we do a devotion, and then they have their own personal devotion time. So they get like a devotion book that they go through. And so they'll go off and spend some time alone doing that. Um, so yeah, it's yes, we're all about fishing, but we're also all about God, also all about all about the church. We're excited to be focusing on the church this year. God's plan for His people. God's yeah, God, the church that God established, and real excited to talk to kids about that, about how they can be a part of the church, no matter how old or how young they are. That they are a part of the church, and the church needs them.
So with that said, junior high is like I don't want to say it's a tough time in a kid's life. And obviously, I don't know if you have like any kids that come like baptisms at like fishing camp, or just any big decisions like do you guys have like any ever have like decisions or baptisms or next steps or what?
We haven't had any baptisms at fishing camp. We're always prepared for it. Obviously, we got the water there. A lake baptism is a cool thing. I've done a couple pond baptisms and stuff. But we encourage the kids. If they have decisions that they're thinking about, stuff like that, we encourage them to go home, talk to their parents, talk to their pastors. Any mentors and stuff that they have. We're always, hoping that something the kid experiences there at fishing camp would have an impact like that on there. Obviously that's that's the main reason we're doing this. That's everything we do. Our agenda is always Jesus first, and then everything else after that.
That's a good way to look at it, because I was Tyler was even saying this not too long ago, is if you look at like our baptism numbers, we used to have a lot of baptisms at camp, and it was kind of, and I don't want to say it was an emotional thing, but it kind of was at that moment. Like for me, I was baptized at Oil Belt, actually, where they used to have in the baptistry back in back when Jim and
the chapel.
Mark, yeah, in the chapel, and then Keith Graham actually baptized me, if you know who Keith Graham is, and then
no, I don't know that.
He's been around camp for I think 50 plus years, and last summer we were looking at the numbers, and I mean numbers are not everything, but I mean we probably cut the numbers and the baptism were like in half. Like usually we average about 80. Last year was about 40. But what a lot of students were doing was taking that decision and going home to their home church to do that. And if you ask me, that's a win-win, because not everybody, and I don't want to say this in a way but like your minister knows you better than the people at camp.
That's a really good insight. Yeah, that's a good insight. I mean, it's exciting to do it at camp. There's an excitement about it, and it's a special, location, special memory, stuff like that. But you got your church family you're going home to. Those are the people that have known you longer. Those are the people that are going to be there in the struggles and in the hard times. Those are going to be the ones that really want to celebrate with you the most, because they know you the best. And so, there's upsides and downsides of both. It's great, for kids to make the decisions at camp, and camp is a great opportunity for that. It sets up kind of just a chance for kids to get away from all the distractions and to really think about what's important. And so camp does a great job at just kind of promoting that decision, encouraging kids to make that decision. But it's good when they go home and get baptized and go home and make those decisions, because that's the family that they're going to be supported by throughout the year. Those are the ones that they're going to need when things get tough, when they're struggling, when they're being tested, or going through difficult times. And So it's good that they share that and they allow that family to celebrate that with them.
That's awesome, because if you fishing camp was one of those camps though that there's not a lot of students, so you really get to connect with them on a one-on-one level.
Yeah.
Which to me that would be kind of awesome. Like I remember one year, I was going back in my memories. I did worship camp the very first year they had it, like the very first year.
Mm-hmm.
We had 25 students, and that was kind of, I mean, I like those smaller camps.
Yeah.
Because you get to know, like Deeper Life last year, for example, only had about 38, 40 something students, somewhere in that ballpark.
Oh, I thought it was more than that.
It was in that 40 mark. It was in the 40s.
Oh, I thought it was more than that.
But
Anyway.
But what was nice is your small group would really be about 4 to 5 students, and you really got to connect with them. Last year we did something at Niners Week when I was faculty, which is one age, and so what we did was there was, I think, about 70 students. Don't quote me, right in that ballpark. And
Mm-hmm.
what we would do is we would do big groups, like for like games and stuff like that. But in the evening, we would do like small groups. You would have 4 to 5 students in a group, and really just getting to connect with them with the Jesus. And I think last year, and I'm not bragging this because I mean all the other camps do well, but I think we were for numbers for baptism. I think we were number 1. But a lot of it, and a problem we ran into last year, was a lot of students wanted to rebaptize, and that's where we run into that problem. Luckily, you guys don't run into it, and
Yeah.
it's a hard. I don't want to say it's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to knock. You don't want to, criticize kids for wanting to get rebaptized.
Yeah.
The concept behind it, just recognizing a rededication, and I feel like that's an easier conversation to have. You talk about, um, that baptism isn't something that you need to experience over and over again every time you've fallen away or something like that. But the idea behind it, rededicating your life, refocusing. Hey, I've drifted away from the way I should be living, or the direction that God wants me to go in my life, and there's camp's another good that's another good thing about camp, is it's an opportunity to reflect on, hey, where am I in my walk with Christ? Do I need to refocus? Do I need to make some changes when I get back? Are there things that need to be gone in my life? So yeah, it's getting away from your phones, getting away from friends, work, all that drama at home, any other distractions like that is a good chance to just kind of reevaluate. Hey, where am I at? How is what is my relationship with God right now, or my relationship with the Holy Spirit? Have I been listening to the Holy Spirit's leading in my life, and do I need to make changes so that I can hear Him better, or make some commitments to be better when I get home.
And we'll wrap up with this question. Is there anything you want to add about your camp? Like, do you have somebody speaking, or just something that kids can be excited about, or just anything you'd want to say before we wrap up?
So I guess I don't really have to promote it in the sense that we're already full, but maybe if people have ideas on how to expand it, or where to go to expand it, where we can go to expand it. But we've got Logan West coming on Thursday. He's going to be speaking for us on Thursday night, and then John Horton is speaking for us on Friday. Matt Willis is going to be bringing our devotions in the mornings. And Mike Gomez is going to be doing the worship with us. We always eat well at fishing camp. That's another plug for it. But yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Fishing camp is fishing camp. You're going to hang out with a group of guys, going to build some good, create some good friendships, strengthen some relationships, and create goofy, fun memories in a safe place with, other people who are going to encourage you in your walk with Christ. So that's the heart and soul of fishing camp. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for your
Hey,
time,
Makai, can I
Aaron.
ask you a couple questions? Hey, can I ask you a question? Are you in a
Yeah.
hurry?
Yeah,
Hey,
ask
what
me
are
some
your
questions.
favorite memories? What are your favorite memories from camp? I'm curious. What are some stories, your favorite stories from camp?
Well, I'll do some faculty stories. So last year we had
Okay.
so last year I was faculty for Niners Week, and we had so we did a faculty hunt. And I know what you're thinking, faculty hunt. And we did something like we let the kids like explore around like to find us. And I hit. Do you know where like the rock climbing wall is, like in the woods?
Yeah.
I hit it, so I got on top of that wall and like sit on that wall and like duck. And then when the kids came and found me, I just like jump scared them. That was another fun memory. Last year I had a student.
Hey, can I tell you my favorite faculty hunt story?
Yes.
So uh, I don't remember who it was that showed me this spot. I can't remember who it was, but anyways, and I'll give this spot away because I'm never going to hide there again because it's absolutely terrifying for me being up there or being under there, I should say. So the little creek that kind of runs through that separates the camp itself from like the campsite or whatever where people can set up their RVs and all that stuff. That little creek that runs through there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's not really a creek, but
Yeah.
the ditch or
Yeah,
whatever.
I
It's
know
got
what you're
the
talking about
bridges.
now.
So one of those bridges is like a semi-bed trailer, like the frame is. It's like a semi-bed trailer, and so I can't remember who it was that showed me this. But anyways, you can go up underneath it, and there's like a little like ridge underneath it, and you can actually like climb up inside the frame of that bridge and be up in there. Well, we decided to do that for the faculty hunt, and as soon as I got up in there, I realized that I was completely covered and surrounded by all sorts of ants, beetles, and spiders, and all sorts of stuff. And I was just, I hate spiders.
I do.
Spiders scare me. Like I can step on them and kill them, but I don't want them touching me. But I don't know why my competitive spirit told me that I needed to just deal with it. But I just spent an entire hour being crawled on by spiders and ants and bugs and all sorts of stuff. Um, and we actually had a kid that like he walked like right underneath me. Like literally the kid is like 6 inches away from my face. Like I could have reached down and grabbed him and it probably would have killed him from the shock of it and the scare of it. But and he walked, he walked right underneath me, and then like 2 minutes before it was over, so I like I'm sweating, I'm getting bit by all sorts of things. I'm like nasty and dirty, sacrificing my own well-being for this game. And some other kid comes walking under there. He trips and falls and reaches up to steady himself and grabs me by the leg. Both of us screamed at the same time. I fell out of the bridge or whatever, and I got caught. All that work for nothing. The next year, I was smarter. The next year because there's not much to hang on to. Like I'm kind of just wedged myself. There's not much to hang on to. So the next year, I put like the camp was working on the gazebos or whatever. They had piles of wood laying out, and so I grabbed a couple 2x6s and laid them up there to make it a little more comfortable. But I don't think I'll ever climb up in there again. It's just gross and I don't like can't handle the bugs like that. The spider webs and spiders getting crawling all over me. It just creeps me out.
That's so crazy though, because so let's see here. I'll share one more before we wrap up.
Okay.
We had last year at Niners Week. No, I'm gonna share one when I was a camper. I don't know if you remember this. You were there. Remember Pizzagate?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my
Top five,
version of it.
easy top five, top three funniest moments at camp for me too.
Yes. So I think, don't quote me on this, but last year we had no, this was 2 years ago. This is gonna be 2 years, but we were coming. I think it was back in the dorm for bedtime. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the sink because you know where the sinks are to like to brush your teeth.
Yeah.
So I do that, and Jono was dorm dad, and Jono and me had no idea what was going on. The only ones that like really knew what was going on in the beginning was like there was like 2 or 3 boys, and it's always the boys. I don't know why. It's always the boys that think of this stuff, and so I don't think anything of it. I overhear something, and I'm like, well, this is probably a bunch of boys talking, and I go to bed, and then I wake up in the morning not expecting anything. Well, you remember this? We walked in the chapel, and they literally playing a video of a bunch of high school boys ordering pizza, and then I think it was, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong about this. I think their friend from like Albany brought the pizza all the way to the camp.
Oh, I think it was someone from Florida drove all the way to Albany and then back in the pouring rain, and then Caleb Nolan intercepted the pizza. Um, like he was waiting outside in the rain, um, and he intercepted it and then took it into the cafeteria. I didn't know anything about it until the next morning either. Like I was just as surprised as kids. I was having an old man moment that night and just wanted to go to bed. And a lot of times I'll stay up with the faculty, but that night I just had an old man moment, and I was in bed before the campers were. Like before the lights were even shut off, I think I was asleep. So then yeah, the next morning I woke up and saw the video with everyone else, and that was pretty funny. Caleb and Bob and Dustin and them. Yeah, all eating and everyone else. I don't remember who all was in the video, but yeah, that was one of the funniest moments of camp, and especially seeing the reaction on the kids' faces that were, had spent all that money to buy pizza for the faculty. Um, hey, one more question for you. Which do you enjoy more, being a faculty member or being a camper?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Aaron does
Now,
fly fish, Trey.
yeah, that's straight shot. Well, it comes with pros and cons. Each side does. What's your favorite knot to tie? We'll get back to your
Palomar
question,
knot.
Trey.
Palomar knot is the easiest.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it on both sides. I really like faculty because I grew up going to camp,
Yeah,
and I can kind of relate to the kids
yeah,
that because like homesickness, I've been there. Disciplinary issues, I know how to discipline because I was that stinking junior high boy. But one of the hardest parts is for me is probably disciplining the kids. You don't want to be a drill sergeant, but you don't want to be easy on them.
yeah.
And
Gotta find that happy medium.
and and one of the things I really enjoy is about faculty is seeing these kids. I don't want to say like trust you, but kind of step out on faith and make those decisions. I actually last year in my small group we had a gal come and talk to me, and I think Taylor Sursa, she'll be Taylor Molnax this weekend because she's getting married. But come and talk to us like, hey, I want to make that decision to get baptized. And to me, I was baptized at camp. I've sat through a lot of baptism, I guess if you want to say the classes. So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of knew some of the ropes. And then for camper, what I really liked about and having your phone, because if you need to like you could do like your devotion on your phone, that's what's nice. But also I feel like, and Aaron, you might agree with me, it can sometimes it become really distracting.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and then as a camper, what I liked as a camper was I really just liked the staff who really poured into us. Like I can tell you, just there's some great weeks like Keith Graham, Dusty Elmore. Um, I'm not even going to list everybody because we'd be here all day, but those are just a few. Seth Schnautz.
Yeah. Went to school with Seth too.
Zach and Natalie McCain. I mean, those are just to name a few.
Yeah.
Kevin Kalklaser.
Yeah.
Man, I really enjoyed that part of it. The thing I didn't enjoy about it was if something was to happen, and I know Tyler and Madison, Carrick, and all the people that work there, they're going to keep the kids safe. But like, if something was to happen, not having your phone would be hard. But knowing that I was going to be okay because you're in God's environment, so
You
that's
always
something.
are, though. You always are. You're always in God's environment.
Yeah, but you're always in God's environment, but especially like a time where we can go and
Yeah, I know what you mean.
so those are probably some. I mean, there's pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
But I
I mean,
probably enjoy
it's a
faculty.
safe place. It's a
I
safe
really
place.
enjoy
Yeah.
faculty, though. I probably will lean
Yeah.
towards faculty.
It is a lot of fun being faculty.
I don't know about dean. I don't know if I want to be dean. Maybe one day, but
I like fishing camp. I don't have to book a band or find a camp nurse or anything for the week, and
it's
I don't have to
easy.
find 40 other faculty members. Just got to get a handful. So
I feel like,
yeah.
and Trey probably could probably type this in the comments. Like, I bet athletes week is the hardest week to plan for.
I imagine there's a lot that goes into that week. That week is got a lot going on. I've never been a part
That's
of
a
that.
week I would never dean.
Yeah, you and me
Wilderness
both, but
would be easy, I guess.
my athlete
Wilderness
days are behind me.
I can't run, so don't ask me to do anything athletes.
I always played the sports where running was a punishment. So
like football.
yeah.
That's
Linemen
awesome.
did 10 yards. Linemen just had to do 10-yard sprints.
Oh, Trey Sly, what would you like to be a part this year?
I think he's asking if I want to help out with junior high athletes. I don't know if he heard that part where I said my athlete days are behind me.
Trey,
I don't consider myself an athlete anymore.
I'm not an athlete. What would I do, Trey? Go to Taco Bell and eat a bunch of tacos? But, Aaron, I appreciate your time. Well,
Thanks, man.
hope to see you at camp. Be safe out there, and God bless.
God bless you too, Makai.
Bye.
See
Bye.
you, man.